It's been 2 years since the Batman dropped, and back then, it had some serious hype. Everyone was talking about the gritty, detective-driven take, and for a while, it felt like the best Batman movie out there, and it still might be. So I rewatched the movie in 2025. Was it still as good as people say? Let's start with Gotham itself.
You're about to be bat-dadded!
If there's one thing the Batman nailed, it's definitely the city. It actually feels like a real place. It's dirty, it's flooded with crime, full of corruption. It's not just the generic dark city. It has an actual identity and feels like a real city. They were trying to take a more realistic approach on the Batman, and I think they nailed it perfectly. The opening scene was really good also. The speech he gave, I don't know if it's really a speech, but it was really good either way. He also just feels like a real person. He has actual problems, and he has character flaws that are obvious through the plot. And since this movie is supposed to be a Batman at a younger beginning, you can see him fail on things and mess up, which is nice details, and I'm glad they didn't just make him perfect. And they do it in subtle ways too. It's not like they just throw it in your face, which is nice. Speaking of Batman, one of the biggest things people wanted was a more detective style Batman, and they definitely delivered. Although he doesn't really do much crime fighting, he definitely does some detective work. He actually investigates on the case, and he solves the riddles, and he just follows the case in general instead of just punching people to get what he wants. And what's great is he's not a great detective yet. He makes mistakes, he misreads clues, and I love that because he's new to Batman and that's what you would expect. And he completely misses the Riddler's biggest message. He doesn't even figure out the full plot until it's too late. Some people might find that frustrating, but personally I think that makes it a way more interesting take on Batman. And Paul Dano's Riddler was terrifying when this movie came out, and he still is. The way he plays it isn't just over-the-top crazy. It's unsettling. The awkwardness he adds, the weird breathing, the quiet pauses before he snaps. But looking back, some people felt that the endgame wasn't as strong as the setup. The cryptic murders were amazing, but the whole flood Gotham and inspire random shooters plan seemed more like a letdown at the end. It's still a great climax and a great third act, but I feel like the mystery and buildup was stronger than the actual climax. How could I not talk about this without mentioning the Batmobile?
They built a lazy Susan for your nuclear car. That's something they consider conversation-worthy.
This has one of the hardest action sequences. I rewatched this scene recently and it still gets me hyped. The sound design, the build-up, the camera angles, it's just perfection. And the car is also just an amazing car overall. You can tell the team put a lot of work into the car. Just watch one of the behind-the-scenes video and you can tell they spent a lot of time and effort to make the scene look really cool. And they did a great job.
We've got some of the best car technicians and vehicle technicians on this show, and we've got some of the best drivers out here in the UK working with us.
One of the things that I had thought of was this idea of a chase in torrential rain, and that as they picked up speeds, that there would be hydroplaning of enormous vehicles.
Matt did an amazing job on creating the sense of danger.
If you'd like to watch the rest, I'll leave it in the description. I highly recommend watching it though. It's only like 6 to 7 minutes long. It's pretty entertaining. This movie came out about 3 years ago, and I'm not sure if they're making another one, but at the very end of this one, they did mention the Joker. But one of my final thoughts on this movie, is it still a good movie? Let's just be honest. Yeah, it's a good movie. The scene of Gotham, Batman is a detective, the Batmobile, the Riddler. I personally just love this movie, and I feel like a lot of people do also. I would personally give this movie a 100% whole milk. This is just peak for me. I don't know why, but I really love this movie. But what do you guys think? Has your opinion changed? Let me know in the comments.